Perfect Organism, the Alien Saga podcast. It's been a long time since we've done a video. I am Jamie. I'm here with my host, Patrick.
What up? I do
And
not have coronavirus,
he does not. He's sick,
but
but he does
I'm
not.
congested. I got my tissue, which looks like a face hugger a little bit.
Sort of, or a big
I'm a little.
penis.
It looks it looks less like looks like a cloud. But yeah, I'm glad to be here.
So we really just wanted to discuss some news that we broke, which was the AVP anime series that Netflix is sitting on. And, you know, I've been tracking it, a lot of outlets posting it. And the reality is, Patrick and I was on a call with someone at Fox, and not like someone that we knew who knew someone direct at Fox who we will not name. We're not going to do it. But someone who was in a position of authority, someone who we had a relationship with, and someone who was a large part of a team, who was during, you know, when Fox was Fox before it became 20th Century, they were stewarding the Alien franchise, and they delightfully let us in on some news that there was a completed series for Netflix. I don't know if it was a series or a show. I don't remember exactly what it is.
I think it was a series.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
And it's been done for a while. And they said, I'm giving you this information, and the person is no longer at Fox. Fox is really no longer the company that it used to be. I don't know what it is now. It's called 20th Century Films. And we don't know who is in charge of the Alien IP. We don't know what's happening. We have no contacts. There is
no Alien Day announcements.
No Alien Day announcements.
That was just hitting me today that it's March and we have not heard anything from Fox or whatever it is about Alien Day.
And there's no fan outreach. The Alien official page is still active, as everyone knows.
It's really active, yeah.
But it's just an interesting time in Alien fandom right now. We're very used to the studio reaching out to us and talking to us and getting us hyped and excited and announcing things, and it's been a long time since that's happened.
So just a little bit of background on this. We've been kind of sitting on this for about a year and a half now. This has been like one of those, and there are other things too. We're not going to drop at the moment, but this was like a huge piece of news that we were kind of waiting for an announcement on, and what happens, a lot of news outlets like have no misgivings about spoiling things or dropping things or leaking things. And we've made it pretty clear on Perfect Organism over the last few years, especially, that we do not want to contribute to that environment where, unsubstantiated reports are just getting spiraled out of control, because it just hurts everybody and it screws everything up. If we do leak something, quote unquote, it is, you can always trust that it's very much because we have like provable source material that is suggesting it. This is something that we waited on for such a long time because we were trying to verify it, hunting down people at Netflix, hunting down people at Disney, hunting down people at whatever is in the Fox building right now, trying really hard to get somebody to confirm this news in a quote, even if it was, an anonymous quote, just so that we didn't go to press, quote unquote, with this sort of like, we heard this story. But nobody did. We couldn't get a hold of anyone. And because the person who told us this was like one of the only people who would be able to verify it 100% and did for us, we felt like we might as well not sit on it anymore. Partly also because it's a great time to kind of get this back in the news cycle, and for Netflix to be able to see that fans are talking about it and showing interest and be like, hey, maybe we should, go ahead and release it. Because what's crazy to me, Castlevania's third season just came out. Oh,
I know, I started watching it last night. I'm on like episode 3.
Oh my God, I freaking love that show. That is a Netflix anime series that is extremely well done. And you and I had talked about this. Remember when we first heard this news, we were like, oh my God, if it could be as good as Castlevania, that would be incredible. Netflix has a really good, robust library of animated shorts and series, and this would fit right into it. But it's not coming out, and it's a little strange. Why?
Well, that's the question. The next question, well, why isn't it coming out? That's what we wanted to know. And from what my recollection is that it was sort of tied up in some legal drama as to why they couldn't release it. So it just sat there. And it remains there. And I reached out to somebody that I know who works for Netflix in a publicist capacity, and they declined to comment. So there you go. But I felt like it was important that Patrick and I take some time, get on video, and talk about this very, very briefly. We don't break news all that often, and part of the reason is we live in terms of fandom, we live in a fandom where you got bullshit sites like We Got This Covered dropping fake news. I would imagine, well, I won't get political on it. But yeah, it's essentially fake news. That's all it is. And they do it and they drum up excitement for ad revenues, blah, 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 blah. And we don't want to be a part of that culture. And also, while we live in this culture, it's hard to break legitimate news when you don't know what's true and what isn't. And the reality is, there's so much bullshit news being reported, people don't know what's true and what isn't. So I've seen people say with the news that we broke, yeah, I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Why would Netflix, blah, 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 blah. Well, it's complicated. And sometimes things are complicated. Sometimes projects are started and completed. And I mean, you know of films that were released. One of my all-time favorite films, The Black Stallion, was completed and sat on the shelves for 2 years before the studio said, okay, we're going to release this for a varying amount of reasons. So I just think it's important that you guys know why we decided to drop this and sort of some of the details around it.
And just in closing, there really are so many more unknowns that we need to track down. I feel like this is a good year for us to figure out what the hell is actually happening anymore and where things sit, because we have not been getting updates on the game. We have not been getting updates on a number of fronts. So I feel like this is a good opportunity for us as a fandom. If you want to see something, if you want to see this Netflix series, come to life, if you want to get information on what's going on with Cold Iron Studios, if you want to know what's going on in these properties, mention it online, ask those questions, ping Fox or Disney about it, make a petition, just get the idea is get the word out so that they know that we're out here and that we are clamoring for this content, because I think there's a lot of great stuff that is probably just inches away from being ready to go, but is being held up in legal we're witnessing the absorption of one of the dominant media companies of the 20th century into the dominant media company of the 20th century. That's a huge business merger. It's a huge acquisition. So clearly this stuff's going to take time, but there's plenty of other movies being made by those two studios. There's plenty of other stuff going on. So I don't want this to get lost in the shuffle. I want to see this fucking cartoon. I bet it's cool. We got to get this stuff out there, and especially with Cold Iron Studios, that is a game that has everything going for it. That would be so great to get to play, and at least an announcement, at least say something about what's going on. So there's a lot of unknowns, but there's a lot to be excited about, and we're going to be fine. Yeah, and it's cool.
Yeah, and my hope is that 20th Century / Disney picks the ball back up and starts really getting involved in fan outreach and talking to, not just posting on official media. Maybe that's what they think is fan outreach, but so we can have context, so we can sort of know what's happening. And also, one of the reasons why we didn't break the news is because we were asked not to. And then things changed. And regimes were switched out. Whole teams at Fox were fired in terms of fan outreach, franchise outreach teams, completely swept away. So we were at a point where we felt like we can share this news comfortably. Again, we won't give the name of the source, but the name I will give was a friend of ours named Andrew Gaska, who worked on the RPG. Which worked closely with Fox, and he confirmed this news. So there is some confirmation there, just so everybody knows. But
also, Andrew, great job on the game.
Yeah, it's an amazing game. I don't own it, but it looks gorgeous.
It's incredible.
So, thanks guys for listening. Sorry we've been away for so long. We will be back. We're about to launch our new series. Be on the lookout.
We haven't been away for that long.
Well, in terms of videos,
we put out 5 episodes last month. But in terms of video, right?
Video,
right,
yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so
I want to do as many videos as possible while my voice sounds like this, because I sound like I'm an actual man for the first time.
Gotta be a stranger.
And I'm really, you gotta be a stranger.
He puts the lotion in the grills.
See you guys.
Bye.